Hi, today is November 14th, 2008. I'm Trevor Bunch.
And I'm Abigail Wheeler. Welcome to BHS News.
On Tuesday, our school observed Veterans Day by holding a school-wide assembly. Mr. McHenry led the student body in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Wednesday, Brashear NHS members hosted the annual blood drive. 28 donors showed up to the event, 4 of which were first-time givers. The drive was very productive and 26 usable units were collected, exceeding the goal of 25. All units of blood collected go to the Red Cross Blood Donation Center in Columbia to be distributed to hospitals statewide. Wednesday, the Truman State University branch of the American Chemical Society came to Brashear Elementary. Kids in Mrs. Whitlow's 4th grade class learned about acids and bases with several experiments, including tests involving vinegar and soda pop. The society is scheduled to return next week for a demonstration for the 3rd grade.
The Tigers dropped a pair of junior high basketball games on the road Thursday night. In the girls' game, both teams struggled to score in the first half, with Lynn County leading 7-2 after one quarter, but Brashear holding a 12-9 edge at halftime. The third quarter came and went without a single point scored by either team, but the Lady Mustangs got on track during the fourth quarter, outscoring Brashear 10-1 to claim a 19-13 victory. Shelby Salter scored 7 points for Brashear, and Meredith Thomas, Katie Smith, and Kristen Love scored 2 points each. The boys' contest was close the whole way, with the score tied 4-4 after the first quarter, and with Brashear holding a slim lead 12-11 lead at the half. The third quarter ended up scored tied again at 22-all. During the fourth quarter, Brashear managed to build a lead, but late in the quarter, Lynn County mounted a rally that tied the game 33-33 at the end of the regulation. Lynn County managed to steal the ball and get a quick score in overtime, and despite several good shots and a couple of free throw attempts, the scoring was over, with Lynn County winning 35-33. For Brashear, Joe Clarkson had 12 points, Nick Thomas had 6, Hayden Hausman scored 5, Taryn Treasure and Andy Belzer scored 4 points each, and Joseph Woods scored 2 points. On Wednesday, Brashear traveled to Atlanta tournament to play some first-round games. The Brashear Lady Tigers and the Bevier Wildcats proved to be a well-matched pair of opponents. The score was tied 2-all after the first quarter, and Brashear led a slim 7-6 margin at the half. The Lady Tigers managed to go ahead 10-7 after 3 quarters, but Bevier came back to tie the game 12-all at the end of the regulation play. The first overtime produced no score, leaving the game still tied at 12-all, and each team scored 2 points in the second overtime to leave the score knotted 14-all. Brashear finally prevailed in the third overtime, winning 18-17. Katie Smith scored 8 points for Brashear, Shelby Salter added 5, Kristen Love had 3, and Meredith Thomas had 2 points. The boys' contest between Brashear and Bevier was also a close contest, with Bevier leading 11-10 after one quarter and 21-20 at the half. Bevier continued to hold a 1-point lead, 29-28, after 3 quarters, but Brashear tied the game in the fourth until Bevier swiped an inbound pass to score a layup, with 7 seconds left to grab the 38-36 win over Brashear. For Brashear, Taryn Treasure scored 11 points, Joe Clarkson had 8, Joseph Woods added 7, Nick Thomas had 6, and Hayden Hausman scored.
The Brashear Lady Tigers and Macon County Raiders squared off in the championship semifinal on the game Wednesday night. Tough defense was the order of the day, and it showed in the low-scoring totals. Macon County held a 5-2 lead after the first quarter, which they extended to 11-4 at halftime. In the second half, Brashear continued to struggle against the press and fell behind 15-6 after 3 quarters, with Macon County getting the win by a final score 19-8. Both teams struggled from the free throw line, with Brashear going 0-11 from the charity stripe and Macon County striking only 1-11. Meredith Thomas had 6 points for Brashear and Shelby Shelter adding 2. Brashear boys hope to turn things around against Buckland after dropping a 2-point game on Monday night. The Tigers came out strong, taking a 13-2 lead over Buckland after the first quarter and building a 23-4 lead at halftime. Both teams substituted freely throughout the game as Brashear finished the third quarter with a 32-13 lead, on their way to the 39-23 win. For Bashir, Joe Clarkson and Joseph Woods scored 10 points each. Hayden Hasman had 8, Taryn Treasure had 4, Nick Thomas had 3, and Sam Smith and Randy Belzer scored 2 points each.
Thanks for watching.
Join us next week.